Good afternoon. Welcome to Season 2 of Driving with Steven. For those of you who have been keeping up on my videos, you may have noticed that there's been a little break since the last few ones, and there's a very good reason for that. My wife and I just had a baby, and I wanted to use that story to explain to you a topic that I call using leverage as currency instead of cash. So I want to get into this a little bit and give you a little bit of meat so that you can understand where it's going. So when I used to have a W-2 job and I worked day to day, what I found is that cash was my currency. I had to use my money to buy everything that I needed. Once I got into real estate and investing, I realized that yes, cash still gets used to purchase things, but it doesn't have to be mine. And that was an amazing concept. So to tell you this and to help you understand how I use leverage as a currency, I want to tell you about the ordeal that we just went through with my wife being pregnant. So obviously exciting news, right? Wife's going to have a baby, ended up being a little girl. I love it. I love being a dad. And along the way, my wife tends to have difficult pregnancies, and we started to see those difficulties showing up in this pregnancy as well. And during the time that she was pregnant, we found an opportunity to buy a little house. It's just a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and I'm going to go in and fix it up. Currently, it's in that motion right now. But instead of purchasing it with my own money or going down to the bank and getting a mortgage, I went and reached out to one of my private money lenders, and what we do with him is we use his retirement funds to help purchase my real estate project. He also gives me the additional capital or money needed to work on the property. And then what I do is work with all that money. When we're done, he will get his retirement money back with interest, and whatever profit is left at the end of that, I get to keep for my business. That's the general rule of how I flip homes. And the reason why this is so powerful is as we move forward with my wife, we got down to that last month before she was due to give birth, and she had to be flown from our local town to a nearby city with a better hospital services to handle a baby being born too early. Our daughter tried to come at 33 weeks. So my wife gets flown over to the hospital. I make sure that my kids are taken care of, and I leave and go to be with her at the hospital so that I can greet this new little one into the world and be by my wife's side. Well, what the hospital did when we got to the other end is they ended up giving her some medications and things to stop her from having that baby, which is great, right? We want that baby to be born properly. But for the next 2.5 weeks, my wife had to stay in the hospital on bed rest as they were monitoring her and trying to keep that baby in there as long as possible. And what ended up happening throughout this is I kept getting phone calls through the process. Not only was I able to close on the house that I was buying from my wife's hospital bed, but I was also able to get my contractors out there working on it, make sure that they were paid. This whole time as I'm going through this, kind of stressful ordeal as far as the family affair goes, I was able to keep my project on task so that once the baby was born, she's beautiful, her name is Bridget, and we love her, that once she was born into this world, that I didn't lose a moment on my project. I didn't lose any pay. I didn't have to worry about asking for more days off. I was able to leverage what was taking place in my real estate to keep that project on task so that I get paid on time when we resell the property, and everything went according to plan, and never once did I have to leave my wife's side. Now, while I was in the hospital, one of the things that kind of bothered me a little bit is these other mothers that were in those kind of similar circumstances were by themselves most of the time. And I thought, how hard is it when you're going through this kind of ordeal that you end up alone? And yet, because I was able to leverage what I did, I could be by my wife's side through those stressful moments for her and help her through that and be there when my little daughter was born. So I hope that you can take from this story something very, very powerful. If you are sitting at home in your day-to-day living, and if you go to work, you make money, and you don't go to work and you don't make money, then you're not utilizing the power of leverage as a currency. I'm not asking you to quit your job. What I'm asking you to do is to look outside your circumstances and find ways to leverage other streams of income into your life and allow those to keep you running. so that when these moments happen, these amazing moments of having a child or whatever it might be, that you don't have to miss a beat, that money will be there in your bank account to help carry you forward, and that life will continue on and you can enjoy those moments, you can enjoy those memories and not stress about, well, I have to be at work or else we can't afford to pay the bills. These are the things that are available to you. So I'm leaving you with that today. Thank you for watching as our new season kicks off, and get out there, put that leverage to work. See you on the next one.